Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Budu Saranai, our venerable Theros, our committee members, special invitees, Dhamma friends, both local and foreign. I'm indeed happy to welcome you to the Bak Full Moon Poya Day International Dhamma program on the topic of Buddhism. Buddhism is beyond philosophy. Will AI challenge same? And this will be conducted by Venerable Kalubovila Amatagavesi. I will just speak a few words on the importance of the Bak Full Moon Poya Day, because today is a very special day also for Sri Lankan Buddhists. This was the second visit of the Lord Buddha to Nagadeepa in Sri Lanka. And really the visit of Lord Buddha was to put an end to two warring factions of the Naga community, King Mahodara and Chulodara. Lord Buddha was able to bring peace, and both of them were really fighting over a star-studded gold, what we call the money palanga, a gold seat, which they then presented to the Lord Buddha, but Lord Buddha declined it, and it was then enshrined in the Nagadeepa Purana Rajamaha Viharya. So it's really today a very special day, considering this, and also the second visit of Lord Buddha to Sri Lanka. It was really the gem-studded stone or the Manipalanga. So today we are very happy to have Venerable Kalguvoli Amatagavesi Thero, because this is a third occasion that Venerable Thero is conducting the Dhamma program for the International Dhamma program, because on two earlier occasions too, he was present, and Venerable Thero, many of them who are here, are also those who had contributed for various projects that Venerable Thero was doing, and I'm happy that they are here with us today. The topic, as I said, is Buddhism is beyond philosophy. Will AI challenge same? So Venerable Kalubovil Amatagavesi is a teacher in meditation, the principal advisor to Dhammaparayana Foundation Colombo, and trustee, chief advisor to Daham Madura and Suaseta Daham Sevana Kurunagala. Venerable Thero had really in the lay life, of course, educated at Royal College Colombo, and also have been working for multinational companies before being ordained as a priest. And Venerable Thero had the initial Dhamma training from the most Venerable Nauyane Aryadhamma Mahathero, then from Dankande Dhammaratana Mahathero, and also Walane Amatagavesi Mahathero. So they were really the teachers of Venerable Amatagavesi, and I'm very happy that Venerable Thero was able to make his time available to conduct this webinar. So I will now invite Venerable Thero initially to deliver Pansil, and then thereafter to commence the Dhamma talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
No, shall I say? No, Namo Tassa
Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. A Bhagavat Arahat Samma Sambuddhajanan Vahanseta Mage Namaskare Veva. May my homage be to him, the blessed one, the worthy one, and the fully enlightened one. Let us reminisce ourselves on the three refuges. May I come under the shades of Buddha to make my life successful and ultimately to attain Nibbana. May I follow the Dhamma he discovered under the Bodhi tree as my guide and the teacher to make my life successful and also to achieve Nibbana. You, the team who is joining now as lay people and as clergy, as a Buddha Putra myself, shall follow the path he discovered and declared to make one's life successful, let it be lay life or ordained life, and also finally to escape for this long suffering in the samsara and achieve Nibbana. That exactly is Tisarana Sarana Yama. And then let us reminisce and clear our conscience, whether our conscience is inflicted with akusala, the unwholesome flavoring. Therefore, let us refrain harming any life on earth and also not take what is not given to you. Be content with what you have. And most important thing, we have sense doors and there's unending responses from the nature, and easily human are not refrained in senses as there's no boundary for you. So may I refrain my senses and not indulge beyond the accepted norms of the society. Again, may I guard my tongue more than the tongue. Today, in the present context, may I refrain using the electronic media to harm any individual, any country, any organization, or any individual to bring their life down. And finally, I shall refrain from intoxication, and especially in the current scenario, usage of drugs, to make my conscience very clear and to maintain my ethics and values. That exactly is the Panchasila. Traditionally, in Sri Lanka and otherwise, priests recite this in Pali. People repeat it. But when you really check the Sri Lankan status, after 2,000 odd years of Buddhism have prevailed on this land, and the mentality of people, the status of the country, how we have become one of the most poor nations in the world. One could see that this taking refuge and Pansil had been mere recitation, not practicing. So let us take a note of that and open up to our subject. Buddhism is beyond a philosophy. Now that itself challenges your thinking, especially if any devotee here who is over 50 years, the word itself challenges you because we are being taught and directed that Buddhism is a philosophy. Let us discuss in the first few minutes what exactly a religion is and what Buddhism is, and then from that we will understand that attaining Nibbana or Sovan Sakadagami is not rocket science, but it is nothing but oneself arousing the energy. Because Buddha said that very clearly, Arabhatha Nikkamata Yunjata Buddha Sasane Dunata Machuno Senam Nalagarang Vakunjaru. Just like a mighty elephant crushes a hut made of reed or bamboo in an instant, just like that, the wise will arouse energy, then strive, and then finally exert the mind That's the most important thing, which will link with our subject, the challenge with artificial intelligence. How to exert the mind, or are you leaving that to a machine? That exerting the mind is machine is doing it. So as per Buddha, let it be a Buddhist or non-Buddhist, this forum, we don't drive Buddhist practice or whatever tradition or whatever it is, because world has changed, science have developed, AI is tapping at our door. And in that scenario, let's see, from the beginning of mankind, even today, if you take the world and it's nearly 9 billion human beings, there are about 36 denominations of religions. And the founders of it, or the masters of it, up to about 99% believes that this whole phenomena is created by superhuman. Only Buddhism, and of course, I have no time to discuss with you, go to the Greek history, there have been a type of religion. This is similar to what Buddha went through Alala Kalama before his 6 years of Dushkarakriya, before attaining Buddhahood, developing the mind so that you develop your physique powers and get into that supernormal type of situation. Other than that, currently, about 99% of the denominations where more than 70, nearly 80% of human beings believe is a religion. You know, as educated forum, religion, in Sinhala we say agam or labdya, a belief in and worship of a superhuman power, particularly a system of faith and worship and great devotion. Now, Buddhism today in Sri Lanka especially is of worship and great devotion, but realization of Nibbana or applying such principle to have ethics and values in society and even governance diminished because the entire focusing was onto faith and worship. That's an issue which I just, Lakshman's earlier, some backdrop appeared, Sammuti and Paramattha Satya, some earlier subject. That's something we will deal during the course of the discussion. So religion is merely believing a superhuman power, and especially, I may not insult any religion, God or gods, particular system of faith and worship and great devotion. That's not difficult to understand. Living in this world, we understand it. Then with this religion kind of psyche, we talk of, Buddha also spoke of spiritual health. Now, people today devote 99% time for physical fitness and physical health. The medical science has improved. Your other maintaining bodies, let it be gym or whatever it is, people are concerned about health. And AI, of course, help in that sector in a big way. Health treatments and all are improving in a greater scale due to electronic situation. But when it comes to spiritual health, let us see what spiritual health is, and at the same time check whether we have that. Or are we listening to Dhamma? Are we listening to chanting? But nothing accumulates like the rolling stone. Now, there are so many channels in Sri Lanka from morning till evening. They keep on declaring Dhamma. But look at the murder rate. Look at if you go onto the road, there's a chance of 19% that you will be knocked down by an unruly driver in Sri Lanka. Things like that. Why it's happening? And so much of rape and other things, which I don't talk because I may move into social kind of stuff. But why is that? Because this spiritual health, although there's so much of sort of Dhamma being promoted, there's a deterioration when it comes to ethics and values of human beings, which is an issue on spiritual health. Spiritual health is the well-being of one's spirit. Spirit is not something what we talk of, but internal spirit, encompassing a sense of meaning and purpose, and sense of peace and hope, even in difficult times. Please make a note of that. Human goes through difficult times. From king to the pauper, it takes place. You are king today, next day you may be a pauper, or you are in jail, or whatever it is. In that scenario, spiritual health definitely help a person to find peace and hope, even in difficult times, and often linked to belief in a higher power. Now the door opens up to a religion. Moment it links, spiritual head links to a belief in a higher power, then comes the creator concept. So that's fine as far as even any other religion. All religions try to make human being correct person. The pencil we just took to refrain from sense dose creating unwholesome stuff, or in short, the demand created by the sense dose, we took precepts, or we refreshed ourselves not to supply the demand 100%. Shortly that. Demand is so much. Needs are limited in human beings. You know, it's the four requisites, like Buddha said, Chivarapindapata Sesana. You go to human rights, you go to anything. Those four are there, written there. Human needs, clothing, housing, medicine, and food. And other than those are needs. All other stuff which we have, look around your house, look around my aram. All the other things are wants. All the other things are wants. Now, even behind, if you can see my background, there's a statue. There are so many other holy items there. That's all wants. That's not a need. To me, to attain Nibbana, no need of a Buddha statue out there. But that's want. So like that, what happened? Spiritual health always open the door for belief in higher power. But there's another door one could open, and the sense of interconnectedness with the universe. That's what Buddhism is. That's what the spiritual health, which we have as a gift, as Lakshman said, today, Bak Full Moon Day, and the second visit of Buddha to Sri Lanka, although he visited 3 times as per Sri Lankan records, Buddhism didn't get rooted. It was Mahinda who came, and he had to check the IQ of the king by asking questions and surprise him by calling a king the first name. Normally, king is not called by the first name, even by the queen. But he did that just to get his attention. So like that, the spiritual health is there in any guy, any person who believes any kind of religion. Let it be that he believes a tree and he goes there and worship, or he believes a mountain, he goes and worship that. Whatever it is, a door opens for belief in higher power. That's 90%. And very rarely, sense of interconnectedness with the universe, that door get open only to intelligentsia. Remember that. That's why achieving Nibbana, we all think is difficult. We keep postponing. some disaster, something went wrong in Sri Lankan where there were millions of Rahatan Vahanses in Sri Lanka. But it deteriorated due to, I'm not going to touch Sri Lankan history, due to various influences. It happens everywhere. From here, it went to Thailand, it went to Burma. You know the current status on those countries. Then it comes back here. Whatever it is, remember, spiritual health is something that if human being has spiritual health, that society has ethics and values. And this is what we say, Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko. We say, may rain comes in time, Devo Vassatu Kalena, Sassa Sampatti Hotucha, may harvest be bountiful, Pito Bhavatu Lokocha, may there be no war, killing each other on this planet, and may the king be just. Now that just part comes from intelligently sense of interconnectedness with the universe. Now, spiritual is closely tied to finding a meaning and purpose in life's experience. Yeah, it's bad to say that you are linked or sentimental with somebody. Lakshman said, Karu Jayasuriya is in the forum. That's a personality I respected from college days. And so people such personalities can ask the question, then what is life's experience which can contribute to a greater sense of well-being? If I perceive Dhamma correctly, of course, Lakshman gave the opportunity to share with others. What are we doing? What are we doing to share it with so many other beings? So that's exactly spiritual. So you talk of religions. When it comes to human, there should be spiritual health. But small dent in that is more percentage goes to believe in unseen thing. Only wise may get to the nature-related explanation. Then with that, what happens is we are open to ethics and values. We are open to ethics and values. Any society, a decent society, study of ethics shows that we ought to do what and would be best to do. What is good and the bad? What is good and the right? Now that is justice. Recently, I know a very high-end personality in Sri Lankan legal fraternity attended a seminar in India, mainly the AI challenge to justice in future. How would dictatorships grow with AI? Now, that's a separate subject. We're not touching it. Then ethics and values will always gives you what is good and the bad. Now, when it comes to other societies in Sri Lanka, maybe we may be a poor country, but our ethics and values are there. We have this discussion in the eve of Sinhala New Year. That's a real nature-related, the only nature-related New Year, because it's a circuit of our planet around the sun. And so that gives a complete cycle of the planet. And when it starts into the new zone again, we call it New Year. So we are in the eve of New Year, and the tradition and customs and all leads us to this. It fosters the ethics and respect of elders. We will think 1,000 times before we put our parents to home for the age, although it's a fashion now. Sanatorium living. Sanatorium living. One of my close blood links came from UK after 40, 50 years there. He's looking for a sanatorium here. That's the world. Therefore, ethics are, then with ethics what comes, logic comes. That's not the lawyer's subject. What is logic is to study the philosophy in the arguments of reasons given for people to answer questions. whether it's good or bad. Now, there are ethics, there's spiritual health, there's ethics, and that gives rise to logic. Now, this section we just discussed is what Buddha said as sila, virtues. This is what Buddha said at Mangala Sutra, Asevanacha Balanam, associate wise, keep away distant from ignorant categories, and select a correct profession, apply yourself, respect elders. You know, that's a whole 32 personal traits explained there. Then Karaniya Sutra, he said he should be skilled in well-being, who seeks the attainment of peace. He should be able, upright, very upright, amenable to good console, gentle, free of arrogance, content, easily supportable, having few duties to perform, discriminating, courteous, not greatly attached to families. I trust all of us have that. Now that's your person. That's exactly where Buddha spoke of this spiritual health, ethics, and logic. Now we come to the topic today, philosophy. What is philosophy? I may read the correct text of a philosophy. Otherwise, I may come out with my own words, like what's happening to Buddhism now. There are qualified priests and lay people distorting this Dhamma in a massive way. But very rarely we have an act like Thailand especially, where the Mahanayaka has the right. If he says this is wrong, the state says it's wrong. I hope that such control would come. Otherwise, this Buddhism will somewhat diminish, and the younger generation will be very soon out of it, because so-called educated, they have PhDs, they have MScs, they have foreign educated, but they completely distort Dhamma, and there are more crowds going to them. 1,000 qualified people are with them. And one little thing I will mention that's not controversy. They say Buddha was born here. No genetic code analyzed, no historical evidences, whatever it is. Just somebody gets up in the morning and thinks that he is born here, and others put hooray behind him, and it goes. So to stop that, we need to understand what exactly Buddha said is philosophy. It's a Greek word. I'm sure the learned audience would know. Coming out of love and wisdom. That itself gives a meaning of a philosophy. Love and wisdom. Systematic study of fundamental questions concerning existence. Please note these words: existence, reason, knowledge, values, mind, languages, engaging in rational and critical inquiry. See the beauty of that. See the beauty of Buddhism. Buddhism, I think audience, most elder folk during our early childhood. I was also, my first Buddhist education with Professor Kotagama Vachis, who demised in his young age. But he is the one who, this seed which led me to be a priest even at 10, I with respect remember Kotagama Vachis Mahatero, who demised at his very young age, but I might pay my respects there. He taught us to ask these questions, fundamental questions on existence, reason, knowledge, value, mind and language. Mind you, if all Sri Lankans and the worldwide humans get to that, that's where philosophy begins. Now, we understand very well what is a religion, what is spiritual health, what is ethics, and what is logic. Society is dense with this kind of stuff. But coming to philosophy, we know there a door opens for Buddhism because it's nature related. Law of nature is number one, hetu pratya. Cause and effect is, we think that's very difficult. Ananda, Reverend Ananda asked from Buddha, why are you emphasizing on cause and effect? he said, Ananda, cause and effect is profound. It's indeed profound. Please remember that wherever you are in the world, cause and effect is profound. You understand that you're tapping the door of Nibbana. You're tapping the door of so on. If you really understand what cause and effect, and that's opened this fantastic door of liberation and also the platform of philosophy. Then coming to human beings, really touch it, time is running out. We have, you and I are bombarded today with so many things over the electronic media, young and old. There are devotees who send us messages at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. That means they're up. When they come to meditate, they sleep because they're up until 2 o'clock with online. This we have experienced. When we go for meditation, 20% within the first half an hour is in deep sleep because they're up in the night, because this cell mobile. Therefore, young people are bombarded, young, old, and sorry to say, this Sri Lankan priest, I don't know, outside also, Sri Lankan clergy is also hooked on, and they are in a big abbey situation into the electronic media, and learned know what that opens up to. And that's why we find young clergy is not up to their upasampada sila. They show up, they come to almsgivings, and the Nayaka Thero gives a sermon. All others, we have something called Vatapata where we can cover very well. And the cell phone is there. They're on Facebook, they're on TikTok, they're smiling to themselves. We can see this. It's happening. No need to think of future AI damage. We see that. But we are offering alms to Ashtari Pudgal Maha Sangha Ratna, who is Supatipanna, Ujapatipanna, Nyayapatipanna. I have no time to explain into such qualities and character. That's why we put a power. That's why we hold an umbrella up there. And that's why we get them to sit and serve the best. Why? Because they are Anuttara Punya Ketta Lokas. They are not IT wizards. They are Anuttara Punya Ketta Lokas. You sow the seeds of wholesome deeds and you reap the harvest of Nibbana. Please remember that. So therefore, when these young people today bombarded with this electronic media stuff, you know, there are extremists in the world. Some says, I may not use those clans or races because that will be discriminating. Now, some people are against the Jews. The person who's against the Jew bombard the person saying, destroy him. So is everything. So is any area is challenged. And today, yesterday, a father speaks to me from States, and his two sons, so it's 16 and 20, are online therapy. We are talking of AI challenging Buddhism. Electronic media has already challenged our young people. If you are going to therapy online, it's disaster. It's disaster. And therefore, it's happening here. Sri Lanka, it's happening. Young children, they come and talk because priesthood is something people open up. I know the learned knows it. It's like going to a doctor. We do a lot of counsel. Buddha did it for 40 years in his career. All sutras, 35,000 is nothing but one-to-one dialogue on counseling some person. He saved people from committing suicide. They saved kings from losing their country, and it's like that. It goes on. So therefore, present day, the electronic media, which is our subject of AI, is initially destroying people because they bombard unnecessary things. Because you know, IT personnel, I hope you will not get bad with me, garbage in, garbage out. You know that. Only any religion which is based on philosophy and ultimate truth has no garbage in, no garbage out. You always put the correct input, you get the result, the correct output, liberation. Therefore, we all are asked throughout our life, we are asked two questions. There are outward questions, there are inward questions. What are the outward questions? What is the distance from where I am seated to Lakshman's residence? So Lakshman will answer it at once. But of course, he'll go to the Google and find out the distance. Like those days, he may not know. He has for everything, we have to go to Google. Parak Pagandat Bend. Sri Lankans can't find a first. It's interesting. You go and they go and ask me, then he said, turn left, turn right. That improves your skills. That improves your thinking capacity, memory. Now, the Google says turn right, you go in. The day that Google lady is not there, you're lost. Now they can't climb trees. That's a skill. He'll be one of the best CEOs. If he improves his spiritual health, I know there are CEOs and top-end people come for meditation. They're excellent in their work. They're excellent in their work. Even when a politician comes, he's excellent in his delivery. Therefore, remember, we are asked two questions straight outward. What is the distance, speed of the sun? Trikoneka, triangle, we know all that. Very straight. Education settles that. But there are inward questions. Why I live? I hope all you can answer that. Why am I living? For what? What is the purpose of my life? I may not ask from Lakshman, but why I fall in love? Ask from young people, why I fall in love? Why I hate somebody? Why there's revengeful thought? And now these are all philosophical type of questions, don't you? Outward questions, inward questions. May inward questions can exactly, you put that we did a survey recently. It was a survey done by some a panel some time back. So we reworked it out recently among our people. Meaning of life. Just write the meaning of life. Most of the people said, I live to eat, drink, and sex and enjoy life. That is the outcome of most of the kana bona type. Sorry for this single term. Make a loke hamatano, the kana bona type. Kala bila hitiotati, mona unat kamak na. That's how Sri Lankan lost values, ethics, law, order, everything. Kala bila hambakarutan. How I earn is not the means. Same thing, even in spiritual arena or political law, anything. So that is one category. Next is in Asian kind of our real Amma type of mentality, our real Tata type of people said, I live for my children. Understood. I live for my children. Overseas, I don't know the degree of that. Sri Lankans, most of the elderly says, I live for children. I think I live for children, because you are attached so much. So that's a different story. We'll discuss another day, detachment with children and your loved ones. Then very rarely, about 5% said, I live to the benefit of myself and the benefit of the society. If any person in this forum today who has accomplished that, you have lived to the benefit yourself, that means your family, your kith and kin, you saw to their education like what we did for our children, educating them. Of course, today marriage is not an issue, but giving them in marriage in time and helping them to improve their business or whatever is careers, yeah, that kind of thing. And benefit of others is that. Benefit of me is, as Lakshman said, as a young person, I was able to sit down and start meditating under the holy guidance of Navayane Arya Dhamma Thero. Matya Indaganda, Tarunaya, Api Etukura Apta Auradu Visaya Kapusi Dekakit. Indaganda, Husmaralla Diha Balana. Then we were doing that, but Bhavana Karanakang, within a hall, we are very good showy people. Moment you go out the door, we are back to naughty situation. So by about 35, 40 years, I was finding an answer. Then we met the Vidarshana meditator, Dankande Naik Hamudro Valani Amatagavesi, Pitigala Gunaratna, he lives still, Rakaratan Vanse. Then Mankadavala Sudassana, they still live on this Sri Lankan planet Earth today. With their guidance, I can remember Amatagavishi Thero when I went for my first meditation class. That time there was no anchor. I was there at anchor later. Lux spray, there's a massive empty box of Lux spray next to me. He said, what is there inside the box? While in Paryanka, I peeped and I saw empty. I wanted to say empty, but something, whether it's past life or whatever it is, I said, sir, there's air in it. He said, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. He said, Putra, you are going to see this truth one day. Now see, with that kind of guidance, we started find out about ourselves. Then we move into the subject very soon. Then with this kind of two questions that we get bombarded through our life, if you are able to invert questions, Walter, if you can answer, well, that says life well lived. I'm sure there's learned audience by about at your retirement, and so you feel you lived a good life. Let it be whatever governments come and go, let it be whatever health issues, what is your children, whether they are up to your expectations or not, you feel fine within yourself. Now, that's exactly lead you to absolute truth. Now is the question to ask, is Buddhism a religion? It was a religion. And still, so-called Buddhists, nearly 75% of our Sri Lankan population. I don't know the world. Buddhism has been, I go to Australia, you go to London, you go to Bhante Ji's ashrams in USA, you go to Amaravati in UK, you go to Brahmavanso's this thing earlier, Australia, it's only, there's a bush this way, there's a bush that way, you go and see parrots. Now, every bush you go in, there's Aranya. They have overtaken us. Spiritually, they have overtaken us. From outside situation, Sri Lanka still is Buddhist. There's temples every 100 yards, and those temples are beautiful, well lit, decorated. But are the clergy showing the path to Nibbana only by a sermon or by practice? They say, always you have to think out of the box and tell others how to think out of the box. That's where Nibbana is. And therefore, let us consider there are 6 criteria to be anything to be philosophical. Number 1 is whatever subject which we consider philosophy should be wholesome, comprehensive, and complete. Not halfway about. And like you asked, okay, if I believe somebody X, and I keep answering, who is his father? And then answer comes. Then you go and ask, who is his father? Then finally you go and they say, no, that's God or creator. Sorry, again, I'm mentioning God. Any other faith, please don't misunderstand me. It's not interconnected. And if my son dies with young age, I can't bear with it. They say, no, he gave you and he took it. I suffer with a cancer. And medicine answers, but I suffer. If I ask from that theory, they said, no, that's so-and-so's will, which we call karma. That's God's will. What happens to you? So completely not wholesome, comprehensive, and complete. Now take Buddhism. Buddhism, Mula Mada Aga Yahapat, Have you heard that? It's fine at the beginning, it's fine at the mid, and fine at the end. What is this Mula Mada Aga? What is beginning, mid? That's nothing but Sila, Samadhi, Prajna. Virtues, concentration or stillness of the mind, and finally wisdom. The interconnectivity of that to be comprehensive is human being's mind, you and my mind, however much we are educated, how much we are rich or our capabilities are, there are 5 hindrances, mind blocks, which prevent you and I to achieve Nibbana. Those are called hindrances: sensuous pressure, ill will, doubt, then your restlessness, and finally sloth and torpor, in the sense that is ඉස්සර තමයි කියන්නේ මේ හිත වැටෙන එක නිදිමත, they call it drowsiness. Now it's nothing but negative thinking. We meet a lot of people, however much you give theory, they have negative thinking, very difficult to correct. So therefore those 5 blocks, psyche blocks, you can't achieve liberation from this samsara. Therefore, sila controls it. It temporarily put you down when you're worshiping. Now you're listening to this, your hindrances come down. When you meditate, the hindrances completely move out from you for a certain time that you predetermine. And with darshana, and when you achieve the holy status, what happens is those hindrances are out, and you will not come back to this existence back again. So that's exactly what we say, swakato. Well, at the commencement, mid, and the end, this is nothing but virtues, concentration, wisdom, leading to realize. See how beautifully swakato fits into that first criteria of a philosophy. Then comes second criteria: everybody should be able to relate to same. In Buddhism, there's no conversion. It's nothing but come and see. All religions in the world, conversion is there. That gives rise to so much of border issues, ethnic issues, country issues, and it gives rise into all this racial, religious type of thing. We have to, because a very good question from us, from a team, sorry, I have to mention this. That team is in governance, I think now. That's about 3 years back. They said, sir, do you think Buddhism has to be protected by the constitution? We met so many leading priests, and we are doing a survey. Do you think? I said, no. Buddhism should not be protected through a constitution. If you go to do it, that country becomes they become very racial and very religious bounded governance. That will not create harmony. What did Buddha said at Parinirvana, when Subhadra asked that question, sir, you are going to go, who will look after Buddhism? He showed the robe and said, any guy who wears this, he follows my path of Sila Samadhi Prajna. Develop your mind into spiritual status, so on, Sakadagami, Anagami. And he remains in the ethics and values what we spoke as Desya Vissa Pratimoksha Sila. And requisites will be a balance kama. Senses will self-kila gannati kama. And find harmony of living without damaging even nature. Anna e wage kena tamang med. He realizes this, and he makes the people, the society around him understand, and lay life or Pavadi life is garnished through that. That's where Buddhism is going to remain. Otherwise, any country who going to call that any religion is protected by the state, under that roof, that religious priest becomes merchants in their own way. They go out from the core values and ethics. It happened in Sri Lanka. Some time back, just to get the vote, we allowed priests to start and get into employment. That's the biggest damage anyone who did for this Dhamma. Thailand, it's not happening. Burma is not happening. England, it's not happening. States, it's not happening. It's here. You study Dhamma in the pretext of a qualification, you enter professional status. You become chancellors, you become professors, you become teachers, they go and work in government institutions, they become principals, they do Govitan, they do agriculture, they produce marketing products, they keep promoting. All kinds of destruction took place. So number two is anything to be a philosophy, everybody should be able to relate to it. As a young person, mid-age, young, or even at my deathbed, without any force, I may be able to relate it. So that's called in Dhamma, Sanditthiko. It's achieved by yourself. I can't send my wife or kid or kin or friend and say, Mang Venuata, on behalf of me, go and pray for me. Go and listen to that Dhamma and come on behalf of me. Api anne, Bana gewal wala, Pirit gewal wala, we go on behalf of mother. No, Dhamma is self-realized because it has to be applied to everybody, should be able to relate. We call it Sanditthiko, no conversion, self-realized, no force by state. That's what I said, constitution doesn't come in. It's self-realized. Self-realized. That is called Sanditthiko. That is a philosophy. Number three is it should be not time-bound. It should not be related to the time where Buddha was born and that time. Even it should relate to this modern electronic, that kind of era also, it should be focused. It should not only focus to a primitive society, it should be not be time-bound. And that is called development of science cannot hinder. Theory results are eminent, not depend on favor. Results are there. If you meditate, you get to first samadhi, second samadhi, you still your mind, you start understanding who you are. So that is, results are then and there. You don't have to wait. Like to the puja, vatti, you don't have, the influence keep 5,000 rupees, mid-caste get 1,000 rupees, and the little guy keeps 100 rupees. What is the vatti or the basket which kept for 5,000 is taken first. That's discrimination. In Dhamma, in theory, in Buddhist philosophy, akaliko, results are eminent. Then, fourth point in a philosophy is should not be relevance to a particular faith or belief. It's not should be a Jew or somebody like that. Sri Lankans, Buddhism is recently a Tamil professor. I was at that seminar overseas. He said, why not? Sorry for telling this, but it hit me like a volcano. He said, why not Sri Lankan Sinhala people give us Lord the Buddha, apitat then the Buddhahamaduru, because we have made Buddha Sinhala after 2,500 odd years. He visited Sri Lanka, he didn't visit Sinhalese. So like that, we messed up there, but anyway, should not be relevant to particular faith or belief. Apita vitarak nemai. Buddhism is for intelligence. I told you that when we are clarifying ethics and spiritual health. So in Dhamma, it's called ehipassiko. Ehipassiko. Come and see කියන එක තමයි අපි කියන්නේ. And කොච්චර science develop වුණත් ඒක whatever level that science develop එක වරදින්නේ. Ehipassiko means no room for doubt, superhuman action, and fear, inducement. They are nothing. There is ehipastiko. Ape is called Dandanam. You know what happened to our grandparents and all. Change your religion. If you want top-end job in government service, change your religion. Buddhism is not like that. It will never say change your religion. It says come and see. Come and see to yourself. So see how beautifully ehipastiko fits into that fourth category of criteria, a phenomena to be a philosophy. Number 5 is should be transformed within oneself, actionable, not limited to prayer. That's what happened to Sri Lankan. We limited to prayer. Chaitya puja, that puja, go to almsgiving now. It's like a wedding reception. Roses are put. Recently, I went for a dana. Rose petals are sprinkled on the dana table. Something came to my mind. I should not tell. It reminds me of my wedding day. You know, the rose petals sprinkled on the table. But just an ordinary dana. You're calling Supatipanno, Ujupatipanno, the field of merit is called, and the dana is like a wedding. Why? This is where we went from. No, it should be, Dhamma should be within yourself, actionable, not limited to prayer or outside show. It's not how beautifully lit your temple is. It's not how beautiful your objects of statues and other things are there. That's where we went wrong. We tried to maintain a very beautiful temple, but within the hearts and minds of clergy and devotees, we are up to mischief because we are not following ehipasiko, within yourself, put to action within yourself. Then comes to next point, philosophy to be there, step by step, develop, step by step, not a favor, not when I go and pray, I get the results, or not because I go to, we all have a crush over temples. Sorry for that word, Lakshman. We have a crush over temples. This temple, I go to that temple. I like that Bodhi tree. No, religion, Buddhism has no inclination. It should be open eye, step by step, sila, samadhi, prajna. Or it could be sila, bhavana, vipassana, step by step, step by step, step by step, you realize your race, religion, your ethnic situation, your economical status will never have any bearance. Dhamma is nothing but open. See, it's beautifully fitting the 5th criteria also to Buddhism. Then final point, anything to be a philosophy, it has to be, should be based on scientific explanation. Yam padanamak mata, based on some principle, which is nature related, to be debated and reasoned with the intellectual. I thank Pindeno Lakshman, may audience, I hope and wish they are intellectuals. Nattang api ar pansal wala puda puja karagana thamat Buddhawaru 520,000 Buddhas appeared. Apita nang vasen 28 giya ape Gautama Buddhahamuturo Pirinuam Peva. Only his Dhamma is present. But still we are wishing for the next Buddha who is coming. The last bus expect karagana api sadhu sadhu kya. But Nibbana is front of you. Nibbana is front of you. Look at the philosophy 6 point. Make tamai pingwatane api කටරිදනකම් කියන්නේ ස්වක්කාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සන්දිට්ඨිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහිපස්සිකෝ ඕපනායිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේති තබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤෝ හීති. It's a subject to intellectual person. At least Lakshman's forum, the audience would know why I'm saying swakkato bhagavata. Oh, I'm just worshipping something. No, those characters you have to induce that to your own psyche, own way of thinking. Then it becomes a philosophy. So that covers, with all that, Buddhism comes very much closer to philosophy. And when we, in 50s, I can remember when we were at college and how we were taught, we believed that it's, but quantum physics came in. AI came in. Quantum physics today have proved karma 100%. Day before, I put a small flyer on our group saying about quantum physics and what Buddha said on Hetupala, how consciousness leads to craving and how craving links to becoming again. And in condition theory, Hetu Pratya, then Pratya කියන එක දැන් සත්‍යයනයකට සීමා වෙලා. රෑ එළි වෙනකම් ප්‍රත්‍ය කියනවා. මිනිස්සු පිරිලා. They don't understand a single foot of that. රෑ එළි වෙනකම් කාටද බණ කියන්න පුළුවන්. අහගන්න පුළුවන්. Concentration of human being is for 20 minutes. Then Lakshman get then 20 minutes ගිහිල්ලා ඉවරයි. What he said, what I said, තව රෑ වෙනකොට මතක නැති වෙනවා. එළි වෙනකම් බණ කියන rhythm එක ලංකාවේ පටන් අරගෙන. එළි වෙනකම් කියන. Oh, I went and observed everybody is sleeping. Because your brain can't. They don't understand. Dhamma is realized through this fine machine you have. No wonder AI is going to replace artificial consciousness. Because you keep harassing the brain by overnight. Anyway, leave that. I'm not criticizing that. But these are things how we see. We are going out of Dhamma. Out of the core principle of Buddha. Elivenakam banakiyan. Issara elivenakam kiwwe light na, sarpayo pare. There are so many other issues. So therefore, if people come to temple, they have to remain in the temple. Now it's not like there's transport, there are facilities online. Now, see, we are doing this Dhamma discussion online. So therefore, we come to ultimate truth. What is Parama Siddhanta Satya? A concept of ultimate truth is philosophy, and spirituality refers to the highest, most fundamental reality or understanding that transcends, note that word, transcend ordinary perception and conventional beliefs, often seen as singular unifying truth about existence. You understand? You are going beyond boundary. That is Parama Siddhanta Satya, ultimate truth. This is what the commercial world, our principles of management said. There had never been a box. But think out of the box. Go to any professional and ask, how did we improve companies? How we made loss-making companies profitable? We got the board and the stakeholders to think out of the box. Otherwise, time to come, management gets old. You think of the old. So we got them to be induced new blood into the system, and we got them to think out of the box. So ultimate truth is the one who always think out of the box. Then comes the ultimate truth of Buddhism. It has gone beyond. Please, somebody asks, are you a Buddhist? You can say yes. Then if you ask, what is Buddhism? Religion kiyandathepa. Don't say religion. Don't say it's a philosophy. You have to say it is nothing but the ultimate truth. I hope Lakshman's audience will use that hereafter. I am a Buddhist. What is Buddhism? Don't go to explain Buddha and Hetupala and all. You say it's nothing but the ultimate truth. Because more and more science develop, more and more, I have no time to explain quantum physics stuff. You can read about it there online and various things. With quantum physics, karma has been proved. Karma pachayo, vipaka pachayo. The condition of karma gives rise to vipaka. And therefore, let's touch on what is this ultimate truth. Buddha said, you have learned niyama dharma. My time is running out. Niyama dharma, law of nature irtu niyama, law of genetics, bija niyama, law of karma, law, the reaction, action, reaction, law of consciousness, and law of Dhamma is when phenomena there's cause and effect, there's always a result. And to make a Samma Sambuddha, there's so much of energy should come together in the universe. So therefore, that is Niyama Dharma. Until end of this universe, we are governed by Niyama Dharma, not by an unseen Lord or a superhuman guy. That's why Buddhism is ultimate truth. That's why even today, with all the development of now, you get AI shows, AI that, AI this. Like take a message in the morning, who sends messages to us? Buddha is not the Buddha that you and I saw those days. He has rosy lips, rosy cheeks, rosy fine hair. His eyelashes are picked like a lady. And look at his robe. It's all decorated with gems and broderie and embroidery. That's all AI generated. That's all AI. We are going out of the ultimate thing. So therefore, law of nature, because religion, Buddhism is nothing but based on law of nature and based on cause and effect. I have no time, Lakshman, to take you through cause and effect. That's a very interesting subject. Audience, before you close your eyes, as human being in this golden opportunity, when Buddhism thrives in this world, although Buddha is no more, and you are intelligent, your parents have sent you to good schools and educated, you have lived married lives and you have experienced human behavior, please get to this, learn cause and effect, and learn why, how did I come here? What would happen after death? Oh, why am I getting angry? Why am I falling in love? Why am I getting addicted to something? Cause and effect, and finally conditionality. Pratyotpanna, suvisi pratyakila. Now it's a matter of sajjayana. Then you will, from morning, if you sit down and now it's 7 o'clock in the night, early morning, you must be able, if you develop your spirituality and if you are with this ultimate truth, you can contemplate in 5 minutes what happened getting up. My subconscious ended. Repair of the body ended. Then what happened? I became conscious. What happened? I had to empty my tanks of all ablutions, then clean myself, then drank breakfast or read the papers or attended your professional stuff or gossip or read the newspapers, all that come, get to lunch, get to a little bit of a nap with the old age, we get a siesta or whatever it is, then going out, go to the club or going to dining out with your professional circles or your societies. And now I'm on bed. If you know how to develop your vidarsana, you will see that from morning till you got up to this time on the bed, have I existed, or is this whole thing a phenomena of mind and matter arise due to cause and effect, are arising and passing away, because mind and matter is nothing but a flux. Quantum physics have proved this body that we carry is finally analyzed. It's only an energy wave. Buddhahamdro Kuwa, Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Varna. I have no time to explain all these molecules, atoms, protons, neutrons, bosons, or whatever little tiny things they have analyzed. Buddha's words, this is the beauty of the Buddha Jnana. Api vandinne kaya. With all this development, that ultimate truth is there, and therefore, then with those 3 principles, law of nature, cause and if it's conditions, what happens? Karma generation comes, which we all forget when we go to earn. We all forget when we go to politics. I'm sorry, I said politics. We lose managing our temple, even we lose track of it. Our katina becomes a business. Our dana becomes a commercial entity, what we get. How we dispose our pirikar given to us into a commercial transaction. We sell that back to the outward. My heart goes crying when I see in temples, the attapirikar given to that Anuttara Punyakyati is sold for money. And there are businessmen in ties come in vans and collect it from temples. And like that. And fruit baskets are tied up to the ceiling, all rotten. But we keep on bombarding with fruit baskets because that's fashion. That gives status. And sometimes Upasakama comes with one dibul gediya, wood apple. Ane Swamin Vahansami gaing baticha gediya. We accept that. Very fine. We keep Buddha Puja with that and we consume ourselves. Anyway, what I want to say is all that cause and effect generate karma because the factory is on from the day you are born up to the day you give your last breath out to the air. Karma generations. What is the speed? Lakshman, fast speed is light. But Buddha's mind shana, mind moment, the air, quantum physics has proved it. Don't get excited and get fainted. The speed of mind is 600, Chittakshana is 675 trillion per second. That's the speed you and I do karma. With the wholesome monsoon, see the disaster. See how fast we create the samsara. But we have the theory from the day we are born, Buddha's message, we got it. Therefore, this is exactly the ultimate truth. It helps the person to break this energy circuit, what we call bhava or becoming again. Oka sadhu kiyala hariyanne. Then mum makes session nikurilla me pineng. Osiyalu denatama nivam sapalabeva sadhu sadhu. But behind your mind, my God, at last he stopped after 1.5 hours. What a consolation. That's the note comes. And today is a holiday, eve of the new year. The ladies must be thinking, what am I going to cook tomorrow? Where am I going to go? Last minute shopping. Or this priest is going on. So, real ultimate truth is it's nothing but a style and an art of living with ethics and values, and also with intelligently understand who you are. There's a famous writer, he's on AI, Yuval Noah Harari. You listen to him. He's an Oxford guy, and he says finally, with all this AI, sit down, watch your breath. You can't keep the mind there because their thought get hijacked every time. But keep on, strive. As I said in the beginning, strive, exert your mind. There's a time you realize who you are. That's the beauty of Dhamma. Just see, such an expert on AI says that. So therefore, then comes, this is the Buddha doctrine. Of course, I can go on and on, but let's stop here. Ultimate truth is nothing but Buddhism because it's linked to nature and results are seen by yourself and you could achieve as a human being. The challenge is from artificial intelligence, Kritima Buddhi. At the moment is seen there, AI cars and that and this. And there are primary models of reactive limited memory, theory of mind. I'm not going to touch those. There's all technical term. But among that, the fourth pillar is, first is reactive limited memory, theory, mind. Finally, self-awareness, unchallengeable. At the moment, AI is helping medical sciences in a big way. You and I fall sick, surgery. AI is doing the thing. And you want, if Lakshman want to get to cosmic change, in his cosmetic change, his facial, he can become a 40-year guy. He can get his hormone injected and become young. All that is possible. All that is AI would help you to do, what you wear and all these things. But there's a day where this machine, artificial intelligence is referred to computer system capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. Remember that. AK 50% vela ivarai. And what happens now, I don't think this audience will be present another 50 years' time, when the organic consciousness is replaced by the artificial consciousness. That Buddhism will be challenged to some extent because whatever we achieve through vipassana and all, machine will tell you. So the subject matter, will AI have a challenge to Buddhism? Chances are very rare because already AI going, world is talking of ethical AI. I'm sure your audience, sorry for mentioning Honorable Mr. Jayasuri and them are there. They have lived, they know the life, they understand society. Ethical AI are we nathang. We are finished. Already younger generations are finished some extent. We see young can't understand the parents, parents can't understand the young, and they suicide, they do all such things without any control. Recently, 12-year-old guy set fire to a girl of 12 years in UK. It happens here also, somewhere around Anuradhapur or Kaligam or someplace. So therefore, devotees, remember, artificial intelligence at the moment, there's no challenge. As far as we discuss, religion, Buddhism is beyond a philosophy, but finally it's ultimate truth. But this ultimate truth is nothing but your conscious and improving your wisdom faculty. If that is going to be, that is done by your organic consciousness, you know it. But one day, the day is replaced by the artificial intelligence. If they make artificial consciousness, Anna Edata, Buddhism will get challenged. Menna metana tamai buduhamdruke loka vinasaya. I'll quote Silicon Valley, the famous guy, Elon Musk. When you have a decline in religion, an increase in secular nature of society, you and I live in this secular nature of society. Kala bila inno. For most people, they need something to fill that void. Please take that word correctly. To fill that void of religion. And they adopt woke, W-O-K-E. That means on therapy kind of thing that takes place religion. How they therapy kadenne? AI. Machine will tell you whether you are sad or not, what to do. I told you already young guys are on online therapy. That is disaster. So therefore, at the moment, there's no challenge with AI to this ultimate truth. It's a challenge to all other religions on this planet Earth, but not Buddhism. Even time to come, until the day that it replaces the organic consciousness, there's no threat. Therefore, if I take Buddha's advice to conclude this discussion, Aganya Sutra, where he declares what happens to this planet Earth and this galaxy, how it gets destroyed. They say closer to that time, human becomes very intelligent. Note that word. They become human or Earth, develop their mind. Mark that word. Read between the lines. With all this science development, human being wants to develop the mind. They may understand mind and matter, cause and effect better than this because machine will tell you that. They develop mind and they are all, most of the people with ethics, they go and born in Abhasar Brahmaloka. And this whole galaxy gets destroyed up to that. After millions of years, when the sun and moon appears, they come back to Earth. That's a small issue with evolution there. We have no time to discuss. Then with that sutta also, there is a hint we have to take. Human is more intellectually developed than how they go to Brahmaloka. So that means artificial intelligence, this consciousness can improve the human stilling of the mind and bliss internal. Then there's a Mahasala Sutra, Brahmane. How will this planet get destroyed? He mentioned three things. Adharma raga, unrighteous lust. You and I see it every day. We don't read much papers, but no need to read papers. Online, you get it. so much of rape. So people can't distinguish between your wife and your sister-in-law or daughter or son. Recently, a mother says, Swamin Mahansa, she's crying, she said, I lock my door in with my daughter because I can't save him from my husband. Where are we heading? A respectable lady in Colombo. That family is top-end family. She's trying to save the daughter from the father. So where this is adharma raga, behavior like animals on desire. You see dogs and all, they don't mind where they mate. We are coming to that. It's happening. Vishamalobe, wrong lifestyle, wrong wealth gaining. I may not go into the subject because I'll be talking politics. How people gain wealth wrong. Selfish at the highest lane, they change the legislature. They change the legislature. They chase the Chief Justice. And things like that happens Vishama Lobaya, unending Lobaya. And then comes Mithya Dharma is not Mithya Dusti. Please don't mix up. Mere anith religions can make Vikurti Ashava, especially sexual orientation. You can see how certain sexual orientations, which society and ancestors didn't accept, by law is accepted. People are forcing governments to implement that. And parents come and cry in front of us. They educate the son, they educate the daughter, everything. They are ready to marriage. They come and say, sir, I'm gay. They are crying, they do all those things. Why? This is Nitya Dharma. Therefore, I conclude from here, please understand the summary of this discussion is to not to teach you what Buddhism is. I wanted to emphasize the golden opportunity you have. Dullabho buddhupado lokasmin. Dullabho manusatta patilabho. Dullabha kana sampatti. Of course, Dullabha Papaja, although you are not priesthood, you have Kalyana Mitra to talk, counsel, and do anything. And then, Dullabho Saddhamma Savanam. You hear, you have the opportunity. This is what Lakshman is doing today. This forum, everywhere in the world who is keen, you spread Dhamma. That is exactly what Buddha said to do. So make use of this golden opportunity. And also you being intellectual, don't miss the bus. Still Buddhism is 100% correct theories in Sri Lanka. Although clergy may corrupted, there are genuine, wholesome Aryan Vahanse here and overseas. Please follow the Dhamma, understand cause and effect, understand law of nature, understand yourself, still your mind, get to Anapanasati, and still your mind and understand the mind and matter arising, passing away, that finally there's nothing to hold on as me and I am. So with that, you need to convey this message to the world. Buddhism is nothing but the truth. AI can't challenge it. Only the day that organic consciousness is created, that's of the question. But according to Aganya Sutra, Sala Sutra, that is the end of the human race and this world. That's called Loka Vinasaya, Loka Destruction. Hemanam, I convey merit to Lakshman for giving this opportunity to me. I thank the audience for joining us for nearly more than 1 hour on this holy Poya day, especially in the eve of your traditional New Year. Teruvan Saranin, Ananta Bhutaguna Balayan, Dalada Vahansela, Gijaya Sri Mahabodhi Amaduranga, Ruanveli Sayaradunga Saranin, Paritrane Ashidvaden, Devirakavaranen, Mahasangaratne Metsiten, Obatakarana Ashidvadyan, may with all these blessings and the Satya Kriya, may you all be happy, safe, and free of suffering. Obasielu Denam, Niduk, Nirogi, Surpat Peva, Nirogi Bava Surpat Bava Chirajivane Diga, Sirishanti, and me Mohotet Loke, Yuddha Kala Kola, Anantavati, දරුණු රෝග පීඩා පැතිරෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ සියල්ලෙන් ඔබ ආරක්ෂා වෙලා. Best opportunity you have, meet Kalyana Mitra, seek their association. උන්වහන්සේලාගේ පාද සෙවණේ මේ සීල සමාධි ප්‍රඥා virtue stillness of the mind wisdom කියන පාත් එකට ගියන් නැටියට දැවිලා මේ වැටිච්ච උගුලෙන් මේ වැටිච්ච ට්‍රැප් එකෙන් මිදිලා නිවනින් සැනසෙන්න සැලසේවා කියලා මේ උතුම් දවසේ ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. ආකාශට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවා නාග මහිත්‍තික පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු සම්බුද්ධ ශාසනං චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු සම්බුද්ධ දේශනං චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු ත්වං සදා. May all the demise, your parents or teachers or whoever you associated, if they are stuck in unwholesome state, may they be conveyed and accrue this merit and get released from that suffering state, and may they also attain Nibbana. Nivan Dakinatura Kalyana Mitra Sampatya Salaseva Imina Punya Kamme Namame Bala Samagamo Satan Samagamo Hotyava Nibbana Patya. May you be blessed and please take care of yourself. Dhamma, Tervan Saranai.
Sadhu. Thank you very much, Venerable Thero. I think much merit for this Dhamma talk, especially more on the practical side and bringing in the AI that we were talking of. We'd like to take a few questions. Can we do that, Venerable Thero?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
So I think anyone in the audience could send the questions on the Q&A. And since AI was involved, I think we have an expert on the AI, Udaya Ganekolo, who is there. Udaya, can you maybe make some, maybe not only on AI, but on the topic also? Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Venerable, for that high-value talk. I just want to briefly touch upon, I think something very valuable came towards the end, that the AI is still, until it comes to the ethical AI part or the organic consciousness part, AI is not complete. It's not going to be a challenge to Buddhism. I agree, and I think that's a very valuable thing that I observe, I note. I think it's 100% true. That's all, and thank you again.
That's exactly what Buddha said. His last words, Appama Dena Sampadesa. Hurry up, time is running out. I'm sure that's the line she spoke. Because more you wait, more science will develop, but it will destroy the humankind itself. Okay.
Thank you, Venerable Thero. Bandula, you are there. Do you short question or comment you have? Bandula Jayatilaka.
Just a minute, sir. I am here, but I have some problems with my video. So,
Yeah. Just make a brief one, brief question.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic. Actually, in the talk the Bhante gave, there are so many loaded words, and even in the title also there are loaded words. So let me just comment a little bit on the two terms, philosophy and AI.
Keep it short, Bandula, because time is running short.
Main two pillars of AI is two pillars of philosophy is understanding what is nature, that's the question, what is it? And the second one is how we know that we know. It's called entomology and the epistemology of philosophy. So Buddha is very focused on those two, as you can see from the description of the Dhamma, as well as some of the questions he asked from his listeners always. How do you know that? Even from Venerable Sariputta, he asked, how do you know? And he also accepted inferences. So Buddhism goes to those two as well as to the practice. So there's no question that it's going beyond that. But when it comes to AI, I have worked with AI for about 60 years now, and I've also looked at the newer developments. But what we can say is that it's not going to do anything that is not in existence. The recent developments also coming from the new algorithms that go into deeper structures of the languages, as well as in the other phenomena, as well as in the generative AI, where you can create things that also, again, based on some of the existing knowledge and information. So from what I see is there's no challenge to Buddhism from AI. And also because this third part that is coming only from Buddhism, that is the practice, which goes inward, internal to the person, which also will help understand the liberation of the mind from all the defilements and the problems. So I think since I want to keep it short, I'll stop here.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Bandula. Honorable
Yes.
Venerable Thero, any comments? Venerable?
No, that needs further discussion. That's a very important point he raised. The link with the nature, etc. You need to go into more details on cause and effect and pratya or conditionality. Then we realize exactly what he says is correct. Challenge of AI to Buddhism, not for Buddhism, for religions are there 100%. More and more it develops, it will happen. It has already happened. And even among Buddhists, you take a survey with young people, they don't believe wholesome, unwholesome. They don't believe on rebirth. And it's going on. So more AI developed, what he says is correct. There could be a challenge, but when it's something is ultimate truth of the world, the time that it destroyed, this is what, it's another forum we need to go through these suttas where Buddha had spoken of how the world destroys. We can see little by little happening. We can see how the Irtuniyama is playing on us. Unexplained floods, unexplained rain, unexplained exposure of various kind of rays. And same thing, human thinking. However much science is developed, medicine is developed, various sicknesses come in. So we'll discuss in another forum. It's a long subject, but he's correct to that extent.
Thank you, Venerable Thero. There are a few questions. I'll just read it. That's from Ranjit Tabru. Thank you for a very enlightening sermon. I fully agree with your view that Buddhism in Sri Lanka is more focused on the spiritual worshipping than following the Dhamma. I have, however, read that Buddhism is neither a religion nor a philosophy, but only a way of life. A good example that Buddhism is a way of life is best explained in the Sigala Vada Sutta. What are your views on this interpretation?
Sigalovada Sutra, way of life, that's true. That's Buddhism applied into a decent living and a reasonable living as a human being. But your human capacity should go beyond that. That Sigalovada Sutra gives exactly what we spoke of: ethics, values, logic, and spiritual health. But realization is beyond that. When your way of life has two aspects: way of life into normal human accepted life with ethics. That's how most of us live and die. But whether that life you spend is worthy and whether you have shortened your samsara is a separate question. You can't just limit that to a way of life. I may rephrase it, it's a way to stop life coming up again and again. When Lakshman asked the questions, or Thabru is one of our best good devotees, who are you, where are we? Nothing but we are in Jati, Jara, Marana, Bhava. Yes, again, what's happened? Jati, Jara, Marana, Bhava. It goes on. So how to stop it? It's not merely way of life to improve your intellectual capacity. I said in very basic English, think out of the box. Okay.
Thank you, Venerable. Can we go on for a few minutes? There are a few questions. Is it all
If
right
you
to
can,
interrupt?
if you
Right.
have time.
Okay. We'll try to finish fast. Next one is an anonymous attendee. Can AI ever develop a consciousness and have the mindfulness to develop experiential wisdom to realize anicca, dukkha, anatta?
Not now at the moment. AI is. I'm no AI expert. Sorry, I'm a bhikkhu who's striving to achieve nibbana in this life itself. So my knowledge on AI is limited. But knowing basically what AI is doing now, machine can't realize anitya, dukkha, anatta. But you go to the machine, you go to the computer, and you ask a question. It gives an answer. Then another 100 people give answers. Computer answer will be based on all those answers. This is what we call it garbage in, garbage out. That is there at the moment, but it can't at the moment. But we are the end we spoke. Organic consciousness vis-a-vis the artificial consciousness definitely will have an issue on this anitya, dukkha, anatma realization, because that should be done with hindrances being controlled, developing the mindfulness and analyzing a certain state. That machine will do it. At the moment, AI, certain frames they're talking is, you go in front of the machine, it tells you what your mood is. In a world that they don't believe planets and all, there is some chat GP or something. They cast your horoscope and tell what your profession should be, what your partner should be. So things are happening like that. In any aspect of life, computer gives an answer. And it picks up so many answers together. And the first answer he gives is basic to what the machine knows. All other will say 1,000 answers given. He will copy that and give you an answer. So එතන කොහොමද අනිත්‍ය දුක්ඛ realize කරන්නේ? Again, the machine can bear, but the day, it's not now. I checked up with few people. It will most probably in about 50, 60 years' time, if they develop artificial consciousness, and if at the moment they're trying to get a robo mother to conceive. ඉතින් ඒ තත්ත්වෙට ගියොත් එහෙම human kind මෙහෙම තියෙද්දි අර so it's another subject. So but anyway, there's no challenge to an ultimate truth by an artificial created situation. But moment it touches the consciousness, this ethics, values, spiritual health, all machine generated. ඒකයි බුදුහාමුදුර සාල සූත්‍රයේ කිව්වේ අධර්ම කාමය, adharma patigaya, and all those things, we are seeing it, Lakshman. It's nothing new. We are feeling it around. So that's the question. There'll be a challenge the day that they replace consciousness with AI. Up to that, no challenge. So before that, achieve Sovan state, before that comes.
Thank you, Venerable. Kusum Jayasurya, Venerable Sir, thank you for mentioning distorting Dhamma. This issue has included distorting rebirth too. That's she has stopped there. I don't know whether she is wanting to find out.
It's like this, Lakshmana, I think she's trying to, there's something called Punarbhava and Punarutpatti. Hindu belief says it is the same person who are born again. It is you who is there, and even in our some scriptures it mentions, but Buddhism tells you nothing transmigrates from this to the next life. It is the karma-flavored energy which goes and combines with matter out there according to the karma flavor. That's what quantum physics have proved. So therefore, I don't know, it's an incomplete question to answer, but whatever said and done, the current development of science will help this ultimate truth to get established some more. And therefore, එතනදී a lady අහන question එකේ ඉතුරු හරිය I'm sure she's trying to catch that into the scene. But best thing is to, as I concluded, remember Buddha's last words, appamadena sampadena. I think we
Thank
are
you.
on that.
Thank you, Venerable Thero. There is appreciation from Krisanti Ekanayaka. Thank you, Venerable Sir, for the truly inspirational sermon. Your words were deeply meaningful and offered great guidance and clarity. May you be blessed with strength and wisdom to continue your noble service. Then, Ananda has put his hand up. Ananda, if you can keep it short because time is running out. Ananda, Ananda is from Australia. Yeah. Can't hear you, Ananda.
Okay.
Ananda, we can't hear you. Ananda, you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Not sure why, but I will quickly type actually then in that case.
Very faint, very faint.
Very
Ananda.
faint?
It's not clear at all.
Not
I
clear.
see. Okay. And I wonder whether it is a connection.
Can you send it on Q&A?
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Right, send on Q&A. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So, okay, I think I will now, till that question comes, I think I will ask our committee member Kamal Nilavira to thank and pay merit to Venerable Kalubowila Amatagavesi Thero for this very deep and also very practical Dhamma talk that was delivered. Over to you, Kamal.
Thank you, Lakshman. Thank you, and good evening to everybody. Mainly to our speaker, Venerable Kalubowila Amatagavesi Thero, for a very, very enlightening sermon about Buddhism. Buddhism is beyond a philosophy, and how AI is tapping on our door. It was a very practical and very interesting topic in today's society, when everybody is looking at Google and looking at various sites where they can get information. But your talk was excellent, not to forget the questions, outward questions and inward questions. Why am I living? The purpose of life. Why do we fall sick? I mean, finally, the ultimate truth is Buddhism. So I think all our participants today, 179, and many bhikkhus from all over the world have been educated in some way about what you have to say, and much merit to you, and we look forward to having another Dhamma session with you, Venerable Kalubowila Amatagavesi Thero. Thank you very much, and wish you all a very peaceful and a prosperous Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Kamal. Ananda, are you able to speak, or Ananda?
I'm trying to, but I can't.
Not clear. So maybe if you can send the question later, maybe I can send it to Venerable Thero and
Okay.
get a reply and send you. Okay, right.
Okay.
So
Because
Venerable Thero.
Lakshman, I'm going out of contact, I think.
Right. Now you are there, Venerable Thero. So thank you very much, and much merit to Venerable Thero. It was a very, very deep Dhamma talk, especially on the practical aspects, and we really appreciate it. and bringing in the AI, which I think we need to give. Of course, AI is a machine-oriented and we are human, so I'm sure that human should be able to maintain all the areas for ensuring that Buddhism will really help them to attain nirvana. So, Venerable Thero, I think we have now come to the end. We normally pay merit to the devas and the departed. Shall we wind up that way? Or? Venerable Thero?
Let's Akasatta Chubummatta Deva Naga Mahitika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sambuddha Sasanam Chiran Rakkantu Sambuddha Desanam Chiran Rakkantu Samsada. May all the deities in the universe be conveyed this merit. Let them protect you all and the world and out of disaster, famine, and may they protect humankind. And finally, this doctrine of Buddha Dhamma. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatiyo. May all the departed loved ones of each one of you, especially Lakshman, your parents, and who are organizing it, and all the participants, your departed loved ones, our departed devotees, may they all be conveyed this merit, and may they realize Nibbana as soon as possible. Abhivadana Silis Nichang Vaddha Pachayino Chattaro Dhamma Vaddhantu Vayuvano Sukham Balam Ayura Rokya Sampatti Sakka Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samichyatu. May you all be happy, safe, and free of suffering. May Mam Sielu Dinatama Subalutta Vrudha Pratana Pervan Saranai.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, and much merit to Venerable Thero. And we will now conclude the session. And may I also wish all our Dhamma friends, our Venerable Thero and everyone, a very happy Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Lakshman.